What if Fives survived being shot by Commander Fox? That's what we're going to go over today. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into it. Our story begins in the lower levels of Coruscant as Clone Trooper Fives is running through alleyways and sneaking into a warehouse. Not long ago, he was able to get his location coordinates to General Anakin Skywalker and Captain Rex. Now Fives could only hope the two of them would be coming alone, if they were even coming at all. As Fives got into the warehouse and hid behind some boxes, his mind raced back to everything that led to this moment. Days ago, Clone Trooper Tup seemingly lost his mind, shooting down Jedi Master Tiplar. Fives went with Tup to Kamino, where it was revealed that Tup had some sort of malfunctioning chip in his brain. Fives was not supposed to find any of this, but through extensive investigations, he uncovered a plot. It was far more sinister than he ever could have thought, and he didn't know he believed it himself, until Chancellor Palpatine told him everything. Fives was drugged by the Kaminoans to make it seem like he truly was losing his mind, and Palpatine revealed his grand plans to take down the Jedi, and it sent Fives spiraling even further. Palpatine's plan worked, but he ultimately escaped, and now he just needed to get to the Jedi. He had to tell them everything. And as Fives waited for Skywalker and Rex, he stumbled upon a crate of weaponry here, and inside, he found an armored chest piece. It could fit underneath his clone armor. Sure couldn't hurt to just try putting it on, so Fives reinforced his armor, and now he waited. And finally, Anakin and Rex arrived. Fives waited just enough to spring a ray shield trap, finally allowing a moment for them to have no choice but to listen. Fives wanted to tell them everything, but the drugs were making him sound even more insane. He couldn't help it, and Anakin and Rex looked on as Fives went on and on about some conspiracy, saying it goes all the way to the top, all the way to the Chancellor. Anakin couldn't believe what he was hearing, but before Fives could continue, Commander Fox and members of the Coruscant Guard began sprinting in. Fives panicked, reaching for a blaster, and Fox had no choice but to shoot Fives right in the heart. Fives fell backwards, seemingly dead, but Anakin could feel in the Force that he was still alive. And so as the clones mourned a fallen brother, Anakin decided he would be taking Fives secretly back to the temple. He was alive, and the Jedi needed to know what was truly going on. As Anakin picked up Fives, Commander Fox said that the Chancellor has requested that the body go directly back to Kamino. Anakin said that he would get taken back to Kamino in time, then continued on before Fox could argue any longer. Rex and Anakin boarded the ship back to the temple when Anakin told Rex the truth. Fives is still alive, but unconscious. He was wearing some sort of protective armor underneath his clone armor. The blast couldn't penetrate both armors to kill him, and Anakin made a judgment call. Fox and the others didn't need to know that Fives was alive. They did their job just by subduing him. And in time, Anakin would stand in the center of the council and describe what was going on with Fives. He was currently getting medical treatment in the temple, and the doctors have reported that the drugs the Kaminoans gave him were finally wearing off. He was alive, and would be soon ready to talk. And so the council members, all of them understanding how impactful this could be, told Anakin to go retrieve Fives. They would hear everything. Inside of the Chancellor's office, Palpatine was meeting with Commander Fox, asking about the whereabouts of Fives' body, and Palpatine felt his anger and frustration rise, as Fox said that Fives was taken to the temple by Anakin. Palpatine snapped at Fox, telling him he had a direct order to send Fives to Kamino. Fox apologized, saying that Anakin was insistent, and that his body would get to Kamino in time, and Palpatine was now staring out of his window, all the way across Coruscant to the Jedi Temple, and he closed his eyes. The feeling radiating from the Jedi Council was tense, nervous, and excited, almost as if they were on the verge of a great discovery. Palpatine, without turning, asked Fox if he was sure that Fives was dead. Fox's voice was noticeably shaky as he told Palpatine that he shot Fives right through the heart. Fox was now very afraid, wondering why Palpatine cared so much about Fives, unless Fives was telling the truth about all of it. Fox wondered now, could Palpatine truly be behind some sinister plot, like Fives had said? Did he shoot at his own brother to protect a traitor to the Republic? Fox grabbed his blaster and pointed it at Palpatine. But a moment later, his wrist snapped and he was lifted off the ground. Palpatine, in a calm but angry voice, told Fox he has failed him for the last time, and he broke his neck. Fox fell dead, and Palpatine turned on his secret communicator to contact Dooku. If the Jedi were going to discover the truth, then Palpatine would ensure that they never get a chance to reveal it to the people. Dooku answered, and Palpatine described everything going on, telling him to ready a huge separatist fleet for Coruscant. Inside the temple, Fives was brought into the council chambers, and Yoda asked for him to reveal everything he thought to be true. But Fives seemed to be almost absent-minded and rather confused. So Shaak Ti spoke up, saying that she suspects the drugs contain some sort of memory loss or memory blockers. It's possible Fives is having trouble remembering everything. And Plo Koon spoke up now, proposing that they meditate with Fives, search his mind. If they can unlock the memories, then Fives will be able to tell them everything. Everyone agreed, and the council members circled around Fives, putting their hands on him, diving deep into meditation, trying to find these memories that Fives seems to have lost. Hours would go by, as Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Windu, Plo, and everyone else here continued the meditation, and finally, memories began to form. They were rather murky at first, but as they became clearer, they could see Palpatine pacing around Fives, and then they could see Palpatine turn to Fives with an evil smile, as he told Fives that he's right about everything, and Palpatine said he wouldn't let a single clone take down his plans. And then, Palpatine seemingly let Fives attack him as security poured in, making it seem like Fives had gone truly insane, like he was the bad guy. The Jedi awoke as Fives gasped. Seemingly now remembering everything, he looked upon the Jedi Council members with scared eyes, telling them both the Jedi and clones have been set up to be destroyed. No one is supposed to win this war, except for Palpatine. Now the entire council, along with Anakin, stood in complete shock after this revelation. Was Palpatine working with the Sith? Was he working alone? With senators? There were so many questions, but only one known answer. Palpatine was an enemy to the clones and an enemy to the Jedi, and therefore an enemy to the Republic. But before the Jedi could act, Admiral Yularen, who was currently above Coruscant with the Republic blockade, informed the Jedi that a separatist fleet was emerging from hyperspace. Coruscant was under attack, and now the Jedi had the answer to who Palpatine was working with. The leader of the Republic was also the leader of the Separatists. It was clear that he organized this attack, as he seemed to be panicking as the Jedi got closer and closer. Windu began giving out orders to every Jedi in the room. Plo Koon, Saesee Tiin, and Agen Kolar were to aid the clones through the air. Shaak Ti, Kit Fisto, and Depa Billaba were to go to the Senate, help clones with evacuation. Windu, Yoda, and Kenobi would head to the ground, defend the temple with the rest of the Jedi that were here, and Anakin was to take Fives down into the temple prison, where temple guards and Rex would keep him safe. Then, Anakin would join the Jedi protecting the temple. The rest of the council members were off-world, but they would work on making their way back, now that Coruscant was under attack. And so everyone sprung into action, while Palpatine watched from his office. This entire battle would be a distraction, with one true goal: kill Clone Trooper Fives. Palpatine's plan was for Fives to die today, and when the Jedi eventually do try to arrest or kill him for treason, he will take the Jedi head-on in the Senate, if they can survive this battle. The Senate will turn on the Jedi, and then he can execute Order 66. If he does it now, his rule as Emperor will be short-lived. He needs the Senate on his side, he needs the citizens on his side, and soon they would be, especially after this battle on the Republic capital, where the Jedi could not defend them. Above the glittering skyline of Coruscant, the vibrant heart of the Galactic Republic, a fierce battle would unfold in the vast expanse of space. Jedi Masters Plo Koon, Saesee Tiin, and Agen Kolar piloted their Jedi starships with unparalleled skill, seamlessly coordinating with the clone troopers at their sides. The sounds of ships firing at each other filled the air as they engaged the Separatist forces, determined to defend the people of Coruscant from this invasion. And in the heart of the Senate building, Masters Shaak Ti, Kit Fisto, and Depa Billaba led efforts to evacuate citizens to safety. Their minds directed the flow of people, ensuring a swift and organized retreat as chaos was ensuing outside. The Republic blockade was doing a great job of keeping the Separatists out of the planet, but enough Separatist ships were now breaking through to fire upon the people. The halls echoed with the urgency of the situation, as Jedi and clones worked in unison to safeguard the lives of those within. Simultaneously, On the grounds of the Jedi Temple, Yoda, Windu, Obi-Wan, and Anakin stood united against the encroaching separatist threat. Fives was safe down in the prison. The temple's spires cast long shadows over the courtyard, where lightsabers were cutting through battle droid after battle droid. Transport ships were landing nearby, creating landing spaces with strong firepower, and hundreds of Jedi stood strong against thousands of droids, and more Jedi fell every second. The Force surged around them as they repelled wave after wave of droid attackers, resolute in their duty to protect these sacred grounds. And as the battle raged on multiple fronts, the fate of Coruscant hung in the balance. The Jedi, warriors of peace, stood strong against the tide of darkness. As they fought and fought, the clash between Republic and Separatists above, within, and around the capital city was huge, and only the Jedi Council knew the true motive of it all. As Anakin fought alongside Obi-Wan, the ground shook underneath them, as Separatist fighters were able to get to the temple, firing upon the spires. They fell down, crashing into the temple roof, and suddenly the Jedi had to focus on fighting and evacuating. General Grievous and 10 Magna Guards landed nearby, and were cutting through Jedi, until Mace Windu moved to engage the general. Anakin could sense Dooku, but he could not see him. This was strange, but then something clicked. Fives. Obi-Wan must have sensed it too, because without saying a word, the two of them made eye contact and sprinted down into the temple. Anakin and Obi-Wan moved through fires and rubble as Jedi were trying to get out of here. Finally, they made it to the steps to the prison, and seemingly on every few stairs there was either a dead Jedi, Temple Guard, Clone Trooper. Anyone protecting Fives was cut down by a lightsaber, and as the Jedi reached the bottom, they heard Rex screaming, "No!" followed by a lightsaber stab. Anakin saw him jump in front of Fives as Dooku went for the kill. Rex sacrificed himself for Fives to live another moment, and it was worth it, because Anakin and Obi-Wan pushed Dooku away. Anakin told Obi-Wan to take Fives away while he handles Dooku, and Obi-Wan didn't argue. Now it was just Anakin and Dooku in the crumbling temple prison. Anakin wanted revenge for Rex, and he said that Dooku and Palpatine would never get away with this. Dooku laughed, saying they'd been getting away with it for years, and the Jedi needed a clone to show them the truth. How pathetic, and he swung down at Skywalker. And as the battle unfolded, the rumble of the crumbling temple reverberated around them, debris falling from the ceiling, as Anakin pressed forward with unwavering determination, fueled by the desire to finally overcome the Sith Lord, who had eluded him before. Dooku, ever composed, parried with countered precision, his crimson blade cutting through the air with elegance. The clash between them intensified, and Anakin's emotions surged within him, while Dooku sought to exploit any vulnerability. The surroundings were a chaotic battleground, the crumbling architecture adding an element of danger to an already intense confrontation. Anakin tapped into the depths of his power, and the speed and ferocity of his attacks increased, forcing Dooku to retreat a bit. And the Sith Lord recognized his perilous state of the temple, and he redoubled his efforts to subdue Anakin before the collapse of it all. He hit Anakin with lightning as the Jedi got too aggressive, and Anakin crashed right into a wall. Dooku was going to kill him, but a moment later, Anakin was pulled away with immense speed, and Dooku looked up to see Yoda at the top of the stairs. Yoda, looking down at his fallen apprentice with a sad expression, used the Force to completely destroy the floor above Dooku, sending it down on him, killing the Sith Lord, as Dooku yelled out in desperation. Yoda and Anakin sprinted out of the temple as it came crashing down even more. The Separatists breached Coruscant, and they were quickly overwhelming the Republic. Anakin asked Yoda where Fives was, and Yoda said he was safe. In actuality, Fives and a squad of Coruscant Guard troopers had broken off from the battle. The Coruscant Guard members said that Fox was missing, and Fives told them everything about Palpatine, the man Fox was last known to be meeting with. So now, the 50 clone troopers boarded 5 different transports and took off for Palpatine's office. Inside of the office, Palpatine still watched the battle from his window. His royal guards were at the door, and he was completely safe from anyone entering. Smoke from a nearby building filled the air, and Palpatine squinted to see as 5 Republic transports emerged from the smoke, heading straight for his office. This was rather strange, but before Palpatine could even react, all 5 of them poured firepower directly through his window. Explosions were sent through the room, and Palpatine was thrown against the wall. As he was beginning to wake up, he saw clones pouring in through the window to find the hidden body of Commander Fox. Palpatine was scarred, bones were broken, he was badly burned, concussed, and he could barely move, as Fives came up to him, thanking him for the truth, shooting him dead. The Chancellor was gone. The clone troopers looked out at Coruscant as it was being overrun, and Fives looked to the communicator in Palpatine's office. He had an idea, as he saw it could connect to the entire holonet of Coruscant. Around Coruscant, citizens were hiding out in fear as the battle raged outside their homes. They were afraid, unsure of what to do, but suddenly every screen across Coruscant flashed with a new broadcast. It was a live recording, and a single clone trooper began to speak. Fives told the citizens of Coruscant about what he'd found, that the Chancellor of the Republic was responsible for this entire war, and as he unraveled the plan with the Jedi, the Chancellor launched this attack to distract the Jedi from the plot. And Fives continued on, saying that Palpatine thought of himself as all-powerful. No one mattered to him but himself. He never cared about the citizens. Fives said that Palpatine was manipulating all of them into falling for his plan to turn the Republic into an empire. His empire. And then, with a resounding voice, Fives said that Palpatine is dead, killed by an ordinary clone, and Fives urged all of the ordinary citizens of the Republic to show Palpatine that he was wrong. Show the galaxy that the people will fight for what is right, help take down the Separatists, take back the Republic. And Fives ended the recording, hoping that his message worked. On the grounds of the Jedi Temple, the Jedi were doing whatever they could to defend, but they were quickly losing. All hope seemed to be lost, the droids were overwhelming. But suddenly, a growing sound could be heard from the nearby buildings. Anakin, Windu, Obi-Wan, and the rest of the Jedi turned to see hundreds, if not thousands of Coruscant citizens pouring into the fight with their own blasters and weapons. The Jedi, now reinvigorated with hope, pushed back into battle. In space, the Jedi and clones were losing Star Destroyers, and the Separatist fleet was going to completely invade Coruscant. But moments later, countless civilian ships poured into the air, taking on the Separatists. They were not trained fighters, but there was absolutely strength in numbers, as the Separatist fleet was ripped apart. Within the hour, the Separatists were pushed away, destroyed, and they had lost the battle. They could barely even retreat, as the overwhelming number of Coruscant citizens aided the Jedi and clones, dismantling the Separatist fleet that lost Palpatine, Dooku, and Grievous, all within an hour. As the dust settled, countless lives were lost of Jedi, clones, and citizens, but all of them knew it was worth it to save the galaxy from the oppression of Palpatine, Dooku, and the Separatists. Over time, the Separatist leaders would have to surrender, as their armies and true leaders were depleted, and the war would soon come to an end. The Jedi Temple was lost, but it was already beginning to be rebuilt, with heavy funding from the people of Coruscant. Thanks to Fives and the clones, the people were able to see who their true enemy was, Palpatine, and everyone was blind to it. And the Jedi fought every day for the Republic. Eventually, Anakin Skywalker would become a Jedi Master and Council member to replace Depa Billaba, who fell in battle to protect a group of senators, including Padme. Fives would become a clone captain in the 501st Legion, replacing Rex, who would always be remembered for his sacrifice. In the end, Palpatine's overconfidence in his planning and underestimating the clones and the Republic was his undoing, and a unified peace would overcome the galaxy. And folks, that is where our video ends for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I kind of want to talk a bit about my approach to these stories. So, it's a story centered around Order 66, which I've obviously done a few of, but I always want to make them different. You know, if I went on the most obvious or like maybe most realistic path, all of these stories would be the same. So sometimes I'll see comments that are like, this wouldn't happen, X wouldn't happen, you know? And it's like, yeah, probably. Like, there are a lot of things in the story that maybe wouldn't happen. But a lot of the things I do are done to serve a different story, a more fun story, a story that I think is more compelling to listen to, rather than just kind of a repeat of every scenario. Because, you know, I could just have Five reveal it to the Jedi, and then they just go arrest Palpatine or something, but like, we've done that before. So I wanted to take the approach of the Coruscant battle, the clones killing Palpatine, and then the clones recruiting the Coruscant citizens to fight. I really like that idea. I'd never done that before, so hope you guys enjoy it too. Again, like with a lot of these stories, I know it's not always the most realistic path, But if I always did the most realistic path, it would get repetitive, and I don't know. I like to kind of have an outline at the beginning of where I want the story to end up, and just go from there. But hope you guys liked this story. I enjoyed it a lot. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe, please leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video.